And we are live here at Daytona International Speedway for the first of 20 Cup races here in the iCAR Racing League. Oh my goodness. Well, of course, I am the one and only, literally, look it up on iRacing. I am the one and only Dare Weaver. You may have seen me on RaceSpot TV or LSR TV. If not, seriously, go try and find me somewhere. I don't know. I'm in some endurance races. Daytona 24 hours, one of them off the top of my head. A lot. I never write them down. But nonetheless, aside from that, we are underway here, at least for qualifying. 15 drivers are here, at least 14 as of right now. We're just waiting for some of these drivers to wrap up their qualifying time. I'm just going to take a look and see if we can find anybody actually still running their qualifying time. And taking a look through, you have the number 81, Austin Edstrom. He is running his time, and in fact, he's just taken the pole time as well. I believe it's only one lap. So, yep, looks like it's only one lap, so some things are still a work in progress, of course, graphics-wise at the very least, so some of these things you see now will be changed by at least next week, basically. Next week we do head to Auto Club Speedway. You see some drivers going around the track right now, going through their lap time. Lee going there, Brian Wright, the number 43, running his lap time right now. Current position is apparently 9th, or it's the lowest position. I'm honestly not sure, as, well, yeah, something's still work in progress like this. And looks like he has been shoved down to 10th place. So qualifying for this is fairly simple, at least in terms of the driver's panel that I do have. Coming down to the travel goes Brian across the line. Still in 10th place. And take a look at the ticker, as that's going to scroll back across your screen. Again, hopefully that should be fixed by the time next week rolls around. So, starting order, relatively starting order, rough estimate of your starting order is scrolling across the top of your screen. 14 to 15 drivers are here tonight for this 80-lap event here at Daytona. I almost said Talladega. I was very tempted to, but don't worry, we do head to Talladega. Just not yet. You can see a loose estimate of where everybody should be starting in this race. 80 laps, 14 drivers. 80 laps may sound like a lot, and it is, but if we do keep consistent green flag runs, if we get a green flag run, I should say, if we get a long green flag run, in other words, I'm looking for, then this race is going to go by pretty quick. So, just waiting for everyone else to either finish the lap time or at least the qualifying time to count down. And for the schedule next week, we do head to Auto Club Speedway. Las Vegas is race number 3 on April 18th. April 25th rounds out the month of April with Atlanta. Then we head to Rockingham on May 2nd. We only have at least one off weekend, of course, that is July 4th. So have fun with that. 20 race season, just listed out the, well, as you can see right now, we are at Daytona. So this is your first race. Next week we head to Auto Club for 80 laps, Las Vegas for 105 laps, Atlanta for 120, Rockingham for 100 laps. Those are your first 5 races, one of which is relatively a work in progress. So, of course, still waiting for that qualifying time to count down. In the meantime, I might as well take advantage of this and go through your starting grid as quick as possible, just so we can make sure that everybody is still on track, or at least still waiting to get completed. I think Brendan Parsons is just running laps just for fun right now. He did move up to 8th place, however, so at least on my scoring is what I'm showing. I believe he's finally finished his lap time. You're going to double check. This is a 10-minute qualifying, so of course we have 3 minutes remaining here in qualifying. 13 drivers have qualified out of the 15, one of which one driver is not here, so 13 out of 14 drivers have qualified. Hopefully throughout the course of the season we will be seeing everybody, we'll be seeing a lot more, a much larger turnout are the words that I am looking for, because that would be absolutely amazing to see, just multiple cars on pretty much any track at least. So while we still have the chance, I just had to double check how many cars we had. Here are your qualifying results. Austin Edstrom with a 48.526 starts on the pole. Jonathan, oh my goodness. I'm going to say this right now. Apologies for any mispronunciations that I definitely will be having, at least throughout these first couple of weeks. Jonathan Eason, I believe is how you pronounce his name, just 1/10 off of Austin's time, starts in second on row number 1. Row number 2 goes to Andrew Mendez and Tommy Gossett. Oh my goodness. Yep, mispronunciations. It happens. Still going to roll with it. Ronnie Head starts in 5th, running at your top 5. Brad Harris, just 1/10 behind him, starting in that 6th place position. Oh boy. Shaka Watosi starts in 7th. I had to stop for a second and actually read that in my head. Brendan Parsons starts in 8th. Brady Briggs starts 9th. Running at your top 10 is going to be Brian Wright. Alex Huffman, Rusty Capel, David Keynes round out your field. Jacob Prince and Gerald Harper have yet to put in a lap time. I believe they are both not here as of yet, but here's the thing. Look at all these lap times. Pretty much just within a 10th of a second. Or within a 100th of a second is what I meant to say. It's basically 0.01 if there were any other drivers outside of that. And there is, unfortunately, that is David Keynes, just 100th out of the top qualifying time here today at Daytona. We are still waiting for qualifying to wrap up, or at least the time to expire. That's going to take just a while for pretty much the grid to set up. So of course, to, if you will, stall for time, I want to do a quick commercial break. We'll be right back just in time for the grid. Stay tuned.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Back live here at Daytona. The grid is getting set up. We are going to go over it once again. Austin Edstrom with the pole qualifying time there on the viewer's right side, and that number 81. Jonathan Eason starts onto his outside in that number 4. Andrew Mendez in that black and yellow 29 starts in 3rd. Tommy Gossett starts in the driver suicide prevention Chevrolet SS in 4th place. Ronnie Head starts in 5th place, and you can see the number 24 over there. A bit of a familiar paint scheme there in the DuPont Chevrolet for Brad Harris. Shaka Watauzi starts in 7th in the number 8. Brandon Parsons starts 8th in the number 80. Brady Briggs starts 9th, running at your top 10 is number 43. Alex Huffman in the 83 starts in 11th. Rusty Capel starts 12th in the number 9. And David Caines starts in 13th as your grid rolls off. Matt Sherry and Jeff Gilmore round out your field with the drivers that have not qualified, along with Joe Harper and Jacob Prince. The 17 total drivers here today, 16 of which are on the track. As you saw the field there just roll off pit road. Running on board your Ford Mustang GT iRacing first pace car. That's a mouthful. Riding around here on the track right now for one of 80 laps to get underway here at Daytona International Speedway. Just to start out the first lap. It's going to be interesting and very, if you will, long 20 seasons. Of course, and a champion will be crowned. And as far as I have read, there will also be a championship payout for the winner of the championship as well. Heading through turns 3 and 4, this field goes. We start off this 20 race season, 1 off week. Definitely going to be a very, very interesting season. And coming down out of turn number 4, Bill comes. That Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to pull off to its safety of pit road. There it goes. The green is out, and we are now underway for 80 laps here at Daytona. Number 81 of Austin Enstrom leads the first lap here at Daytona for your, once again, 20 race season here in the iCAR Racing League. 4 in the 82, those are Jonathan Azon and Tommy Gossett, stuck on the outside. Almost a little bit of contact there as well. Heading into at least turn number 2, heading after number 2, I should say. But right now, that number 80 will be Brendan Parsons, trying to somehow make his way up to at least this top group up here. Top 4 cars. And that outside line is starting to get shuffled back right now. Then the 4 and the 82. I'm trying to make a 2-car tandem work on the outside, but right now it's way too early on, as 82 of Tommy almost gets loose and almost ended up turning number 4 Jonathan. He's going to head down to the inside. Smart play right there, as right now it's just way too early on to try to make a move to the outside. Right now up front, your front 4 drivers, Austin Enstrom, Andrew Mendez, Ronnie Head, and Shaka Watauzi. Front 4, 81, 29, 21, 8. Well, pretty much the entire rest of the field is doing that now, as that gap has pretty much dissipated at this point. It's a little bit of a loose gap here between the 9 and the 82 right now. Also a little bit of loose gap between the 4 and the 43. Not much of a difference right there. As you see now, the 21 of Ronnie, he's going to head out to the high side. That's going to force the 8 down low below the apron. There goes a 48 around. That's Brady Briggs into the wall. Goes to number 8 onto his roof. That's number 9. Sorry, Rusty Capel on the side now. He turns 3 and 4 back on all 4 wheels. Oh, a wild ride through turns 3 and 4. The caution comes out for the first time today on lap number 4 for Rusty. We'll take a look at your replay here in just a few moments, as that was a wild ride from the number 9. Replay coming up here in just a few moments. So we're going to take a look. You can see the number 48 and the 83 and the 9. That's where it all started. 48 of Brady Briggs. The 83 of Alex Huffman. Just a bump draft gone wrong. Rusty tries to avoid it. He does, but unfortunately, he doesn't avoid the wall. He had nowhere to go. That's just one of those moments where you either just wreck somebody and yourself, or just end up putting yourself in the wall just to avoid whatever you can. But Rusty, unfortunately, he had nowhere to go. Ended up putting himself into the walls. We're going to take another look at that from the onboard camera of Rusty, and it's going to be a little bit interesting, as well as we're going to take a look on board from the gyro cam. Oh my goodness, that's very offsetting. And you could hear him lift off as well. Almost goes over at that point. My goodness, this is the advantage to a gyro cam. You get views you would never normally see, and that's one of them. So right now, some drivers are in pit road. In fact, the entire field, I believe, has actually come down pit road. Right now, this puts the number 29 of Andrew Mendez in the lead as of right now here at Daytona. We're going to take a quick commercial break, or at least just a quick break overall. We'll be right back just in time for the green flag to resume this amazing action that we have seen so far. This is the iCAR Racing League here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Back live at Daytona. At least 2 more caution laps remain. At this point, 2.5. Because right now we are still under yellow. Just waiting for the 1 to go signal to be given. We can go back racing under green. send these drivers off once again. So still taking just a little bit of time to double check and make sure everything is a-okay. Of course, you can never be too sure whether everything is set or not. Of course, just as a little bit of a shout out to Tommy Corset, he is streaming live on Facebook right now under VSR Space Crazy. So good job to Tommy. He's up here in 8th place right now. So Tommy must be also a nice space game. There's also another driver that is live streaming as well. Yes, Andrew Mendez. Also streaming his view. You can go check them both out on Facebook as well. Andrew Mendez under Andrew Mendez on Facebook. I'm not sure how it will show up, but it's definitely showing up. Tommy Corset is under, Tommy Gosset is under VSR Crazy. Pretty interesting to actually get their streams up on here, but of course, live streams being live streams, there's always a bit of a delay, unfortunately, but nonetheless, looking well with it, and of course, if you want to check them out, by all means, go ahead. It's an interesting perspective to the race as well. So half a lap to green right now as we are double file. Rusty Capel has unfortunately decided to retire his car tonight. Very unfortunate. I see, unfortunately, I believe it was suspension damage because, well, no doubt it definitely looked like it as well. Because, it was high a little bit. That was Harper, I believe. 26. Just double checking, but unfortunately for Rusty, he is out. Maybe, and hopefully we will be able to get a word or two with him in the next caution flag. Nonetheless, pace car goes off pit road, back under green here at Daytona. Lap number 9, we go back green. And then into turn number 1, side by side, trying to figure out who goes where. And then turn number 1, a little bit of a gap right now, as it looks like the number 80 of Brendan Parsons, he's going to head down to the inside lane right now, leaving that number 21 of Ronnie to the high side, as well as number 26 of Gerald Harper. Saw on just the right side of your screen that number 82 also dived down to the inside. 24 Brad Harris goes to the inside as well. So right now you essentially have a full car draft, but unfortunately they're falling back really quickly. Something's happening with Ronnie and that number 21. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't know if it's just the draft or something really wrong. Let's look at something really wrong. Let's look at number 43. Having just a few internet issues. He's going to try and keep his momentum as best as I can. Nothing you could really do about that aside from complain to the nearest internet company that he uses. Right now, position stop for 6th place as number 3 got forced up to the high side by Tommy Gosset. Tommy's going to actually head up to the high side as well. The outside lane, peeking out to the outside, also goes to number 81. Again, it's just a bit too early on to be trying to make any outside lane moves, but then again, some people do want that as quick as possible. Number 8 of Towsey is going to be one of them. I can never pronounce their first name, so I'm just going to stick with the last name. Gosset's going to go with that number 8 as well, but the only way they'll be going is back action. There's no way. There's no outside line momentum it seems. So number 82 head down to the inside once again. Leaving Towsey stuck on the high side. Number 01. It's going to be Matt Cherry. He didn't qualify at all, but he is still making his name heard as best as possible. He's up there in that number 01. And back down to the inside, trying to make an outside lane move work, always trying to get to the outside lane and find any momentum. There's no momentum here on the outside lane. A little bit of a position swap, it seems, between the number 43 and 57. That's what it looked like. 57 was trying to make a move. There's nothing there, though. Not enough momentum. We're going on board now. Number 29, Andrew Mendez. The entire field. Someone has problems. That's Matt Cherry. He's going to keep it under control, thankfully, but unfortunately it's going to be out of the draft. I believe he's got screen times. It looks like he's dog tracking and crab walking. I'm not sure. He's going to head to pit road. Yes, he is. Let's see what happened to Matt. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, yeah, looks like he's going to retire. I thought he was going to spin out. Not sure what had happened to Matt Cherry, but we're going to ride on board with him and see what happened to him. Because right now he has just retired from the race, so on board with number 01 right now. Listen to the engine, there's nothing all that wrong. I believe something just happened internally. Just gonna pull into pit road here, so an interesting turn of events for Matt Cherry, at least, because unfortunately now he is out of this race. But look at this right now, the 48 was all over the back bumper of this number 29. So right now we are down to a 14 car field. You can see that 43 having major problems in the very back there. This is Brady Briggs, just right behind there in that 48, the number that lows for pros. Chevy SS, hopefully soon to be a Chevy Camaro by at least the summer, as what Steve Miles has said. A lot of jostling going around. We're going to take a look from the chopper camera. That 3 has broken away just ever so slightly. Number 3 of David Kane is going to head up to the high side. Muscle being shuffled out. I believe he tried to look for somebody to go with him to the high side, but that's not going to happen. But thankfully for him, he's got somebody to head straight behind as Tommy Gossett and Towsey as well in the number 8. 24, 57 are also with these drivers, as well as Brian Wright and Alex Helpman. So pretty much a 2-car pack. Both of 7 drivers, but that's starting to slowly close up, as right now the driver between all that is number 82 right there in that turquoise and purple Chevrolet right there, and that driver for Suicide Prevention sponsored car. Running on board with him right now, you can see the distance between both the front pack and the back as well. Now the back is just pretty much dissipated, so right now they can all work up back to this front pack of like 8 drivers instead of 7. Still trying to make something happen. And he's actually got help. Number 8 of Towsey almost left him out to dry. Trying to pinch the number 3 down to David Keynes. stay on the high side. How about Towsy? He will not. Towsy's most likely going to remember that little bit of a stack up in the 324 and 57 right there. Gilmore in that number 57 Target Energizer sponsored Chevrolet SS as DuPont Chevy of Brent Harris. Right, a little bit of a moment there. That was just a bit too close for comfort. 57 guys will trying to help out the 8 right now. They do have room to move to the bottom, but nope, not going to take that advantage or chance, I should say. Well, up front, it's just all scrambling for position. Jonathan is on, and that number 4 will be moving to the high side and back down to the inside. Again, just not a lot of momentum right now. Still looking to the high side are both the 4 and the 82. A bit of a stack up to the inside. Numbers jumping to the high side, and that number 4, 82 is going to join him. It's not really going to do anything though, because again, just not a lot of drivers with enough momentum on that high side. Quite unfortunate as well, as we'll be having some amazing racing, but unfortunately, these drivers are stuck to too wide right now. Or sorry, single file. As look at this driver hopping that 26 look to the high side. John Ezon's going to join him as well, at least peek out just a little bit higher. A little bit of a bobble from the 26. You saw him get those left side tires on that yellow line. Not really a safe space. At 21, that black and red of Ronnie Head is going to be joining the outside lane as well. There goes the 81 looking to the high side. And the 82 now heads down to the inside. And that two-car tandem will just fall back now. Now David Keynes is going to be joining the high side. A lot of drivers trying scrambling for position. And now look at that 48 Brady Briggs. He's going to head out to the high side right now for that first place position on that number 29 of Andrew Mendez. And down into turns 3 and 4. Can't quite clear the number 29. Everyone's starting to get double foul once again. I may have said something else otherwise. Oh goodness. And that was for... If that was for the win, we're going to take a quick look at the results right there. Yeah, there's your interval right there. Brady Briggs and that 48 has somehow managed to just barely get that lead that last time around. That's how much the interval was. There wasn't one. And look at Mendez. He's going to be trying to do both. He's going to be trying to block both lanes. That's not going to work out. He's going to be stuck to the inside, or at least in the middle lane right now. And oh gosh, the 48's going to get turned. Brady Briggs in front of everybody. 4, 5, 6 cars involved. The caution is back out once again. Oh, 43 of Brenner had nowhere to go. The 4 gets a piece of it. The 4 got a piece of the earlier wreck as well. It's an early contact. They're still making contact back here. David Keynes is trying to get back going as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, that's not working out for him. Keynes was essentially everything on what everybody was doing. And by in the back over here, it's number 26 of Gerald Harper. He is now in pit road right now. Look at the amount of that damage on his car. Going to take a look at the replay here at Daytona, your second caution of the day. And this is essentially pretty much what can be titled as the big one. Not honestly 100% sure, but we're going to take a look right now. We're going to slow this down. Actually, in fact, we're going to back this up just a little bit more. Now we're going to take a look at this in slow motion. 48 gets a push from the 81. Looks like it's just on a little bit too high as well. That turns the 48 down into the 80. The 29, 26, and 21 barely make it by. 21 barely makes it by. The 3 gets turned by the 8 of Dowsey, who had nowhere to go. 48 gets a huge shot from the 51, or at least on the left side. And then the 43 of Brian Wright almost makes it by. And mixed contact with a 48, sending that 48 up on two wheels, almost up and over. That's your second near flip of the day in the same turn. And the 4 just barely gets by as well. We'll take an onboard look from at least the number 57 here. Actually, now we're going to take a look on board the number 83 of Alex Huffman, who I believe did make it through this wreck. We're going to check right now. Let's find out. C24 also make it by. Hello, that's the thing you got to watch out for. Is don't know where the other driver is going, and drivers on the high side can also do that. He still makes it by, however, and the 26, he barely makes it by that as well. Props to Alex Huffman for avoiding that wreck. As we saw the 24 also in front of him get by that. A bit of a, pretty much a huge incident in front of him as well. Number 24 of Brad Harris. See right there, he didn't know where the 26 was going to go. He decided to wait, and he did. We're going to take a final look on board with the number 43 of Brian Wright, who unfortunately did get a piece of the wreck. Almost makes it by, 48 overcorrects. And unfortunately, that had happened. In fact, I'm going to take just an actual one final look on the rear end of number 48. Right there. In the quarter panels. Oh, goodness, hello. You see the 43. Gets in on the side, and somehow it still stays on at least all four wheels. Right now, everybody is back double file here at Daytona. Drivers now are going to be the number 21 of running ahead. Austin Edstrom starts in second, restarts in second. Third place is going to be Tommy Gorsett. Brady Briggs starts in fourth, so at least one faster pair for these drivers. Alex Huffman restarts in fifth. Jeff Gordon, if you will, Brad Harris, starts in sixth place. This rest of the field starts going across the top of your screen as of at least the start-finish line. Go back to green here on lap number 26, completing lap number 25. iCAR going to be heading down to pit road. And the green is now out. We are back underway here at Daytona once again for the third time today. Indecision, it seems, or at least just trying to figure out who wants to go where and who wants to take whatever line here in the, well, not even the back pack. It's just more of this little group of cars here, and all over the back bumper was number 26 of the 4. Thought the 4 was going to get turned there. Would have been devastating. A little bit of a move to the high side while we still have the chance. Hello to Tommy Gorsett. Dived out to the high side, just entering the trail over there. I was still the chance we're going to at least do your best to crank up the volume, because this is going to get pretty interesting, at least not as of yet, because we're going to wait. We could have watched this pass between 81 and 82 and 81, I should say. As now both of those drivers have headed with the front two positions of the field as of right now. Now the 82 heads to first place. Let's listen to these engines as these drivers head around the track, shall we? Nope, never mind. I knew something was going to happen. There goes the 21 of running ahead through the travel grass, back up onto the track, kills the pit exit cone. Somehow still keeps it straight. Somebody get that pit exit cone, please. What an amazing save by number 21. That was, honestly, that just reminded me of Ward Burton heading through pit road. Of course, Ronnie didn't go through pit road. He got through the travel grass, and landscapers are not going to be happy about that one. Take a look at the number 21 as they head into the travel. Just indecision and almost took the 48 with him as well. Goes the pit exit cone, almost comes up into everybody else, which reminds me of Ward Burton. I'm not sure what year that was, to be honest, but that was a good time to go. We are back live here. Once again, not much of a change up front, but the number 8 of Towsey is definitely starting to fall back. Well, still the chance. Now you can turn up your volume as we can finally listen to these engines as they head around Daytona International Speedway here, completing the 29th lap, heading for their 30th. That's definitely amazing just listening to those engines as they went around this track. We are nearing halfway. Ronnie Head is now exiting pit road after that wild ride that he had. He didn't get any damage from it, or anything visible damage. Maybe just a little bit when he made contact with the 48. We'll see if we can get a shot at the number 48 as if possible. He takes right front quarter panel whenever we can. Take a look, you can see this front bumper is bent up just in the slightest, but not too major. Nothing really visible there on the number 48. So it looks like Brady Briggs is A-OK for the most part. see the number 4, Jonathan Azon, trying to side draft Briggs as they head down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Couldn't get enough momentum with Jonathan, unfortunately. Something with this outside lane that they can never get enough momentum. They can never really stick with it, even if it's with 2, 3, 4 cars. You need a good amount of cars on the outside lane to try and get any kind of momentum. But right now, this is your top 6 right now. We have Tommy Gossett in this number 82, the 81 of Austin Edstrom, number 83 of Alex Huffman, number 48 of Bradley Briggs, Jonathan Nason on the number 4, and then the number 26 of Gerald Harper. This next little group we have, Shaku Atauzi is in this number 8, Brendan Parsons in the 80, Jeff Gilmore in the 57, Andrew Mendez in the number 29, and then Brad Harris, who unfortunately has at the moment lost the draft. So has Brian Wright. He's been having a few issues here and there throughout the night. David Keynes and Ronnie Head, these drivers are both working together and stay within a relative distance between these front two. This leader, I should say. This is where these drivers are at right now compared to the leader, that's number 82. They're relatively on the opposite ends of the speedway, so for now they're safe. And trying to get side by side once again is going to be Azon, but with help from Gerald Harper. Still, not enough momentum, as 4 is going to be chancing it just a little bit, coming down to the inside lane. They're looking up to the high side. That's number 4 is he's trying to get to the high side. Now he's got the momentum, but he's timed it incorrectly, unfortunately. This is the thing about super speedways. It's quite challenging, as you have to time this out. You have to time the move to the outside lane and your momentum as perfect as you can. Pretty much just through turns 1 and 2. Down here, you can let's see if we can use the 4 as an example. Actually, we're still talking about it right now. So he's gonna head into number 3 and 4 right now. He's looking to the high side right now. Cooling off the engine makes sense, but right between here, you can make a move to the high side and keep your momentum. Travel's not that much advantage, so you can keep an outside lane. Need help, as 26 is going to go with him right now. That's a perfect time right there, but you need your drafting partner, in this case 26, to time it perfect as well. He gets to the quarter panel, but he can't get by. But if you stick behind from turn 1 up until here, the 4 gets the run. That is where you need to time it. But he needs help. He doesn't have the 26 behind him. It's directly behind him to give him any kind of an advantage or any kind of a shot. So the 4 is right now Jonathan Azon. He's stuck on the inside lane. He's stuck in the 5th place position for now. But some drivers that aren't really stuck anywhere right now. Look at this: the 8, the 80, the 57, and the 29. They've all made their way back up relatively to this front pack right now. This is I'm not going to say what I was going to say for fear of jinxing it, but hey, commentator's curse. So why not? We've had a good green flag run for now. Will we be seeing green flag pit stops anytime soon is my question. It'd be quite interesting to see those actually take place, and it would be even more interesting to see when, because we're nearing the halfway point. We've had about 2 or 3 cautions. We've had 3 cautions within this first half of the race, which is just now coming to a close. Not yet, but the next time around, we will have 40 laps complete, 40 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see when these drivers pit, and if they do, how will they have enough fuel to make it to the end? I mean, they've had a couple of cautions, and they've used like the 48 of Alex Huffman, the 48 of Bradley Briggs. He's used his faster pair already, because he was practically sideways, both literally and figuratively, in turn 3 right here in this track just 10 or 20 laps ago. Looking to the inside, maybe a little bit of peak to pit road series. Right now we are 40 laps down, 40 laps complete here at Daytona. Tempting for a little bit of a break, but we're going to stay on just for a little longer as the 82, the 81, the 83. Stop the first two around and you have complete irony. As the 26 heads down to below the double yellow line, even on the back straightaway, Joe Harper. Looked like he was trying to clear out his engine, or at least cool off his engine, is what I should be saying. As you can't stay behind these drivers for, you can stay behind these cars for a long time here in these cars at this track, but you can't stay tucked up behind somebody for way too long going full throttle. So if you're, in this case, if you're the number 81 of Alex Edstrom and you're always up against the bumper here and the number 82, full throttle constantly throughout this entire racetrack, you're relatively setting yourself up for an engine failure. Because while of course these cars, these can take a good amount of laps, about 2 or 3 laps, maybe even 4 if you're lucky, to actually stay behind these cars and keep the engine running while still overheating very slowly as well. But these back four drivers are pretty much sideways, almost staggered out in the formation. They were up there. They did have a good advantage, but right now these drivers should be working together. Unfortunately, they're not. Jeff Gilmore, that number 29 of Andrew Mendez, 57, trying to side draft Parsons right now. That's not going to work out. As they head down the back straightaway. They do have momentum, but that's only because of 29. And that number 57 was still just pretty much hand-to-hand against each other. Right now, that 80 and the 8, they still have enough room and still have enough space to keep that inside lane going. But if they're going to stay side by side like this, they're just going to inevitably fall back and lose this pack that they had gained on. They're going to lose the time. I get you're impatient, you want positions as quick as possible. This is not one of those ways to get them. I mean, it's one of those ways, but it's not really the ideal time. Got a side by side, a bit of a bobble from that 57. As the 8 and the 80 now have come off the bottom double yellow line. And the 80 is going to get a little bit loose. There goes Parsons' momentum, whatever he had. He's going to actually move to the high side right now, so relatively you pretty much have your single file lane just not on the right side. Just a little bit off. Let's say the 8's going to drop back. Parsons going to drop back as he's going to let off and probably just let the driver sort it out. I don't see why not. Look at Parsons. The distance between them right now and that 8 is completely increased between pretty much 1 lap to go, but right now the distance has also increased between these two drivers. They've had the momentum. They were doing great just about 10 laps ago when I mentioned it, but right now, that's pretty much gone, unfortunately. As you can see now, these drivers are back to single file. But is it pretty much too late at this point? We're going to compare the time between at least these two drivers. Between the 26 and the 57. This is your time difference right now. You can see it in visible form right now. Down through the trial, but we're going to zoom out a lot here. There's the number 57. Just now entering turn number 1. This is pretty much the distance of about 2 seconds. You can see this gap right now. And well, now it's going to be between the 8 and the 57. I believe it's in the outside wall right now. He's still going forward, however, but look at this distance here. 3 seconds now, as these drivers should really, hopefully they can work together. Maybe right now they're just getting pretty impatient. And I would be too as well, so it makes sense. But right now, take a look at the 57. I believe you've got a piece of the outside wall, and hello, scratch marks and scuff marks alike. Goodness. So yeah, he did get to the outside wall, unfortunately, so that's going to set them back a substantial amount. Now it's just a 2-car, not even a breakaway, it's just a 2-car tandem. And then with the 57 and the 80 who dropped back and let those drivers fight it out. Smart move. Talk over the radio between, not really sure who, but it's like the number 21 is going to be heading to pit road, along with the 3 and maybe the 43 as well. These drivers headed to pit road eventually. No one in pit road as of yet. We're going to take a look on these 3 drivers right now. We are closing in on 30 laps to go. Let's see if these drivers do head to pit road. Yep, here go. There go David and Brian. But this is relatively good because Ronnie has a 24 with Brad Harris to work with. But this is a crucial moment for these 2 drivers right now, the 3 and the 43. David Keynes and Brian Wright. They need to stop in their pit stalls as perfect as possible. 43 also makes it in, right side tires up, so it looks like it's going to be 4 tires and left sides for the 43. Right sides for the 3. He's going to be down and away. 29, 8 also in the pit road. 29, who I believe was your pole sitter, he was. So Andrew Mendez, and there is the number 8 of Shako Watowski, who started in second. The rest of your field is still staying out. 30 laps to go. This time around, when they cross the start-finish line, will anybody in this pack make a move to pit road? Yes, they will. It's going to be the 4 and the number 26, the 4 of Jonathan Azon. Smoked the tires hanging in the pit road. Going to take a look back at that really quickly. Not sure if he was over the limit or not, but he really had to get hard on these brakes. Look at this. Oh, that's probably a speeding penalty by the looks of that. He is still in the pit road as well. So, he's still in his pit stall, I should say. We'll take a look at him. He's definitely serving a penalty right now. 20.9 seconds, nope, still counting up. 27.2 seconds. No doubt he did get a speeding penalty. Gilmore and the 80 of Parsons heading to pit road now. 29 laps to go this time around. Pit stops are, of course, crucial. Brady Briggs has no help right now. Both the 57 and the 80 are in pit road. Doesn't look like the 80's getting tires. 57 getting 4 tires. This is a chance for Brady to, and that 48, to make up anything that he can. Never mind, this is pretty much the entire top 4 that is left right now. The 81's going to make a position swap. It's going to become the leader. Kills the pit exit going just ever so slightly. 48 almost makes a run into the 83 in the pit road. Just in case you didn't know how crucial pit stops were, that's how crucial that they are. As now the 83 is going to slide through his pit stall. He's going to overshoot his pit box. Still having to back it up. Still backing up. It's going to be the 83 trying to pull back forward. Now he's got into his pit stall, and my goodness, that's going to cost him a huge amount of time on pit road. The 81 of Austin Estrom is down and away. But Alex Huffman is finally just now down and away. That's going to cause a lot of problems for Alex. He's going to have to have some type of help. Right now, Gerald Harper could be that one driver to help out. But now Brady Briggs in the number 48 Lowe's for Pros Chevrolet is currently in that first place position. Second place is Tommy Gossett. Is actually waiting for Austin Estrom to catch up, so those two are definitely working together just in case their numbers didn't really cue you in on that. The number 26 of Gerald Harper, I believe he has yet to hit pit road as of right now. He's still staying out, so I believe he already did make his pit stop early on. Right now, the entire field is very, very spread out. We got 3 car tandem here as Alex Huffman has actually these drivers are working together. The 82, the 81, the 83. They've waited for Alex for both the 82 and the 81. So Alex's relatively his mistake on pit road is pretty much gone now. So right now, with the help of the 80 of Brendan Parsons and the 51 and 57 of Jeff Gilmore, they can catch up to these front 2 drivers in no time. Provided they do work together. Of course, it's the closing moments of this race. Shaka Watauzi and the number 8 and the year pole sitter Andrew Mendez also going to have to try and catch up as quick as possible, as best as possible. Brad Harrison, number 24, has gone a lap down. Now 2 laps down. Ronnie Head is left with pretty much nobody else around him. He's in the middle of practically nowhere in terms of track position because, well, nearest driver to him is the leader, but nearest driver in front of him is pretty much all the way in turn 1, so pretty much a triangle of wherever the nearest driver is for Ronnie. So Ronnie is, in a way, he is in a good spot though, because if the caution does come out, he will have at least 1 lap remaining, and 3 laps down goes Brad Harris. Harris just on the receiving end of the worst luck 2 laps down, I should say, actually. Has re-corrected itself. And through turns 3 and 4 go the 48 and the 26. 82, 81, 83 working together. 80 and 57 are making their way back up. I say we're going to let you sit here and just watch the drivers just pretty much go around, make their way around this racetrack. And as Harper is a little bit wobbly, go right on board here with the number 48. So we'll be right back. We are not going to commercial. I'm just taking a quick break. As well, Brady Briggs, you have a fan. Somebody's rooting for you. Brady, stay in the lead, please. Nice for that fan. But of course, I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break. You can hear Brady let off. Quite interestingly, he let off the throttle coming out of turn number 4. And that gap is actually closing, so I'll be back in about 3 laps. Still operating the cameras at least. Keep watching this because this is most definitely going to be an interesting finish. Live here at Daytona International Speedway for the first race of the season. Your first of 21 off week is going to be on July 4th. 80 laps here in the iCAR Racing League for their Cup Series here tonight. A little bit of a lead change, as you've seen. Right now, Tommy Gossett is back in the lead with, well, right now he is at 29 laps led. Brady Briggs, 7 laps led. Joe Harper has yet to lead any. Austin Edstrom, 6 laps led, and Alex Hoffman also has yet to lead any laps. As Ronnie had went to pit road earlier, we saw that the mini break that we had. He's going to be staying well out of the way. 17 laps to go here. The clock is starting to tick, and hello, Gerald Harper. Look to the high side, probably trying to use Ronnie as a little bit of a advantage for drafting, but right now, the 48 of Brady Briggs at the moment, he is in the perfect placement to make a last lap pass, but of course, we still have about, at the moment, 15 laps to go until that happens. At least 15 laps until that last lap moment to happen once we cross the start-finish line as of right now, so 16 laps remain here. Been a long race, but this second half and relatively the rest of this race, after we've had 3 cautions mainly in the first half, pretty much all just in the first half of the race. Ever since then, about lap 26, we've had a green flag run. 15 laps to drive on instead of single file. We'll go through your entire field. Maybe not as of yet because, well, look at this. Edstrom to the outside looking for that third place position on Harper. That's not going to happen. Huffman still in fifth. Take this advantage now and go through pretty much your entire field as it is right now, or at least the start-finish line. Tommy Gossett, Brady Briggs, Gerald Hardber, Austin Edstrom, and Alex Huffman watching those five battle for the lead right now. Brendan Parsons and Jeff Gilmore working together. There are Andrew Mendez and Shaka Watauzi. The four are Jonathan Azon still running. David Cairns, Brian Wright having a few issues. They're a bit off pace and having a few issues are Ronnie Head and Brad Harris. Matt Cherry, Rusty Capel, and Jacob Prince. Unfortunately, they have not gotten the ability to finish this race. Still no change up in your top five. Still 82, 48, 26, 81, 83. That's our Tommy Gossett, Brady Briggs, Joe Harper, Austin Edstrom, and Alex Huffman. Top three will be interviewed after this race. This is the final race, and in that case, it's a top three and champion. Unless your champion finishes in the top three, then in that case, well, they're being saved for last. Maybe. Still working that out. $13 laps to go. That's the start-finish line. Everyone, this is pretty much the calm before the storm right now. Brady is just riding behind that number 82 of Gossett right now. The laps are quickly winding down right now. Almost a little bit of a bumper hook was the 26 to the 48. That would have been even worse. And a little bit of a fun fact. The person that was that had the cameras focused on them the most here today was Brady Briggs, which is ironic because he's only led 7 laps instead of Tommy Gossett, who's in first. Well, as of right now, Brady Briggs has had 11 minutes 45 seconds of focused on camera time, literally focused. And as of right now, Tommy Gossett is 7 minutes 34 seconds and counting upwards. We're going to stick with the 82 for a while, and you can see that damage, even with the damage the 82 has. You can see right there, that steering wheel, that little red mark in the middle of the steering wheel, that is moving an insane amount just for being on a straightaway. You think, unless you actually have been either racing or just driving on the street, you'd think driving in a straight line is easy. Well, nope, not even close to easy at all. As well, you just have to keep moving the steering wheel back and forth ever so slightly, especially going about almost 200 miles an hour. You definitely have to be keeping that steering wheel moving to the left and the right, even on the straightaway. In fact, let's ride on board the iCAR, I should say, of Tommy Gossett, as they come off into off of turn number 2 onto the straightaway. Right now, you can see just those slight movements. Keeping that car straight, even while you're being bump shafted, no less, and back into the corner. You see how much he has to turn that steering wheel and how much this gyro cam is affected by it. 10 laps to go, double digits soon to be gone. Brendan Parsons falling back to 7th place position right now is the 57, the 83 of these drivers. Sorry, the 57. Actually, the 21 that is running ahead. 57, 86, and 7th as of right now. Brad Harris once again. That's number 8 of Shaka Watauzi leaving pit road. Brad Harris still running 3 laps down. Props to him for still running. Probably all these drivers are still running. Out of the 17 car field, 3 of them are out. 14 still on track and running. And going way wide is going to be the number 80, 81 of Edstrom. He almost made contact with number 26 and turned him coming out turn number 4. 9 laps to go. Again, calm before the storm. A bit of a shot to the 26 right now. Maybe just a little bit of a believe Edstrom's way of saying, seriously, I was right there, what the heck are you doing? Well, this is another way, a little bit of a side draft, as you can see, maybe. From this camera angle, didn't seem like it, but 26 is going to be on the apron, almost about 2 feet separated them. The 83 has the best view of this. Speaking of which, this is a good time to use this onboard camera. 8 laps to go now. Laps quickly winding down. Unfortunately, your ticker is not in real time, as at least of the start-finish line. At least whenever it scrolls by, it resets itself to the last time the drivers have crossed the start-finish line. So hopefully that can be fixed within at least, I'm going to estimate maybe 3 weeks if I honestly do bother to work on that. But hey, it's a ticker and it works, so it's relatively accurate. At least it works, unlike Fox, where their tickers have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, but the positions instead of first, second, first through 10th are still at 22. So technically, that's an example of saying, hey, I used to work on things as well. So thanks, Tick. I believe I'm not sure if I was muting that, but nonetheless, some of these things take a while to work on. Maybe they don't want to work on it. I'm one of those people. And of course, a little bit of a stack up between number 26. Apologies for going a little bit off topic. Just wanted to elaborate. And oh my goodness, the 26 almost got turned by the 81. Did I mention that this was the calm before the storm yet? This is definitely seeming like it. But the 48 has to make his move as fast as possible right now. This isn't the time as of yet, but I'm pretty sure that 48 of Brady Briggs, he wants to move to the high side right now and get that first place position away from Tommy Gorsett, who has led the most laps, and he's led over half of the laps here today. So, tops to Tommy Gorsett. He's led 41 out of 80 laps here, working on lap 41, I believe. On his lap 41. See the 26 and the 48. 26 backed off just a little bit, but the 48 does have that momentum. That would have sent, if Gerald Harper and that number 26 had pushed the 48 of Briggs to the 82 of Gorsett, maybe that would have forced Briggs to move to the high side. Back to single file, these drivers go. 5 laps to go, 5 drivers fighting for this lead. Any caution between at least now and the checkered will end the race, or at least between now and the white flag. That outside line is still trying to make itself known. Gerald Harper looked up to the high side. 81 headed down to the low side. And looks like Harper's going to be moving up to the outside lane. He's going to be taking the 81 with him. Still not enough momentum. 48 is tucked right behind Gorsett. 48 Briggs, he's going to move out to the high side. 81 Briggs, Gorsett moves out to protect. He's going to have to move back down to the bottom lane. This gives the lead back, as of right now, to the 48. Can Gerald Harper do anything? 4 laps to go. 48 of Briggs is all over the place. This could send him back to at least 4th place right now. And it looks like it will, but the 83, almost a little bit of contact. They're going to make contact down the back straightaway. 3 wide, 2 wide, I should say. 3rd goes Briggs. He could have stayed to the inside, but he chooses not to. Barely makes his way into that 3rd place position in front of the 83. That was a close call right there between those two. Those two had wrecked. The closest driver behind them, well, they're pretty much about half track behind, so I don't think that would have caused a caution. 3 laps to go right now. You can see, we could have, as we saw that last time around, things are starting to heat up. It's pretty much go time at this point for any of these 5 drivers. Harper can still, hopefully, for him, make his way back up to this now 4-car field, 4-car mini pack, but Harper's trying to figure out, he's trying to do anything that he can do, weaving his way around, but at this point, he just has to wait and hope for the best that these drivers wreck. 2 laps remain this time around, and of course, super speedways being super speedways, I'm going to predict Well, no, Harper's headed back to pit road. I think he's out of fuel. It sounds like it. His engine... Yep. It sounds like his engine, he's pretty much just out of fuel. He almost made it, but 2 laps couldn't make it. Brady Briggs down to the bottom, or at least looking to the bottom, on Austin Edstrom in that number 81. The 83 and the 48 have to work together right now. But as I was saying, super speedways being super speedways, I'm going to predict that's going to be the 80, the 81, 82, the 81 on the high side, 48, 83 on the low side, unless the 81 decides to do something like this and leave the inside open. It's going to be close this time by. It's going to be the white flag. Here comes the 81 of Austin Edstrom to the high side. Brady Briggs is going to have to try to do something. The final lap here at Daytona of your 80-lap event for the iCAR Racing League. Almost a little bit of contact, and again, hanging in the turns 3 and 4. More contact between the 82 and the 81 as they're side by side heading down the back straightaway. And now the 48 can give the advantage to the 82. I think those two are making contact as well. The 81 and the 48 are getting close, but I don't think the 81 can get anywhere. Brady Briggs has one more shot to get to that lead. We have turn number 4. The 81 of Edstrom's going to peek out to the high side. 82 is going to protect the 48. He's going to try and protect this lead. Both lanes. 82 of Tommy Gossett wins here at Daytona, and they're going to make contact after the... Wow, they still keep it going forward. The 48 and the 81 make contact after the checkered flag, and Brady Briggs... Sorry, the 83 of Alex Hoffman comes home in 4th. 57 of Jeff Gilmore. Sorry, Brendan Parsons in the 80. He's going to be coming home probably out of fuel, it looks like, across the start-finish line. Looks like the 57 is also just barely out of fuel. Gerald Harper making his way around for that 7th place position. Other drivers have also completed their race as well. So Tommy Gossett has won the first race of the season here at Daytona. Congratulations to him. What an exciting finish. Here come his teammates. So the 82 of Tommy Gossett is going to burn it down into the infield. And of course, as if the landscapers weren't mad enough from the save from the number 20 Ronnie Head, well, now they can be mad at Tommy Gossett as well. So they can take 50% of the blame, I guess. He just blow his engine, or is he out of fuel? I think he's out of fuel. Is he out of fuel? Is 82 out of fuel on his burnouts right now? Yep, seems like it. Just barely enough fuel to do just a couple of burnouts. Well, before we wrap up, we are going to take a look at the results and, of course, interviews if possible. Right now, after an amazing finish, Tommy Gossett finishes in 1st place in the number 82. Brady Briggs comes home in at 2nd after a last-ditch effort to try and get that lead. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Coming out turn number 4 on the final lap, Austin Edstrom and Alex Hoffman a part of that battle as well. Brendan Parsons comes home in 5th place. Jeff Gilmore and Gerald Harper finish 6th and 7th respectively. Starting your first of multiple lap down drivers, Andrew Mendez, your pole sitter, unfortunately finishes 8th, 1 lap down. David Cairns finishes 9th, and Brian Wright also finishes 10th, also 1 lap down. Jonathan Azon finishing 1 lap down as well. Jack Witowski finishes 12th. Most likely a scoring error on that part as well. Although it is showing overall that they are sort of on the lead lap, but also not. So that's going to be something I will look at. Ronnie Head finishes 2 laps down, still finishing this race. Brad Harris also finishes this race 3 laps down. Matt Cherry, Rusty Capel, and Jacob Prince. Jacob Prince, one of those drivers that did not manage to make it in. And of course, Rusty Capel and Matt Cherry having to retire early from issues earlier on. So before we wrap up here at Daytona, we are going to take I'm going to double check actually. Nope, just a display error by IRTVO. Towsey has actually finished -1 lap. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check through iRacing itself. But before we wrap up here at Daytona, after an exciting event here, we are going to take a quick break, interview your top 3 if possible, and then we will be wrapping up here from Daytona. So stay tuned for your top 3 interviews.
Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Back live here at Daytona once again. After an amazing race, an amazing hold of the lead by Tommy Gossett, who has led 46 out of 80 laps here today. That is definitely exciting. Of course, unfortunately, Tommy is not available at the moment, and for some reason scored in 4th. It is Brady, but I'm honestly unsure about that. Oh wait, scratch that. That is the problem on iRacing. But nonetheless, we'll be going to interviews in just a quick second, so stay tuned just a little bit. Nope, not going back to commercial, just a quick, just a few moments of silence, but of course, I'll be right back with at least your second place driver. Here with Brady Briggs, who finished in second place in the number 48 Lotus for Pros Chevrolet. He tried to make a last-ditch effort on that final lap coming out turn number 4, but of course, before we get to that amazing finish and amazing race, of course, talk about your race as a whole, because this was definitely an interesting race. And quick technical errors.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
All right, now we got you. All right, so you finished in second place, so well, we don't really need the whole gist of it. But again, just go ahead and talk about your entire race as a whole.
Yeah, first I just want to give the admins a shout out for putting a good league together here. Also, you up in the booth for broadcasting it to the fans. But yeah, the race was pretty nuts. Started further back than I wanted to, but came up through the field. Couple incidences. I had to use a quick repair. Daytona happened there. But after that happened, we just stayed on the bottom, kept it, nice and even, just click off some laps. Yeah, and then at the end, try to pull a move on them there. But, those top three, 81, 82, 83 cars, they were a team. Unfortunately, I lost Gerald Harper behind me. He had to get fuel, so didn't really have much help there at the end, but I tried my best and came home second.
You definitely did try your best, and it was an amazing try as well. As right now I'm showing that last lap, at least attempt of a pass for that first place position. You almost had it, and of course, unfortunately, nobody decided to go with you. But nonetheless, that was coming down to those final laps, and actually that last half of the race as well was relatively caution-free. So that definitely proved for some interesting pit strategy as well.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting, making green flag pit stops. I hit pit road good there too, and then me and Gerald were, we had about 5-second lead, but those teammates were hooked up all night and they ran us down there. So, it was fun in the driver's seat, and hopefully it was fun for the fans to watch.
It was definitely fun for us as well. So, of course, before we let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to thank for your second place finish? Any sponsors, friends, or family?
Yeah, just shout out to the admins again, you up in the booth, my family for watching, mom and dad, fiance. So yeah, hopefully next week we can bring home that checkered flag and hopefully bring together another good race.
Hopefully you can, and hopefully you'll be hopefully you'll be sitting up in the victory lane instead of second place. But hey, top 3. So of course, congratulations.
Hey, 10-4, I'll take it.
So of course we may be wrapping it up. Going to be waiting just a little bit just to double check on and see if anyone else is essentially available, and going to go ahead and get someone else as well. So we have hopefully David Canes. David Canes, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
All right. Well, David, you didn't really get the finish that you hopefully wanted, which was 9th place, a lap down, but you did stick it out throughout the entire race, and you did manage to come home with that finish as well. So how did your race go for you?
It didn't go as planned. Just played the wrong strategy, and things didn't play out how I wanted it to.
Definitely seems like that as well. Any thoughts looking ahead to next week at Owl Club, as we had for the same amount of laps, but of course essentially a completely different track in terms of how to race it compared to here?
Yeah, I mean, there won't be no draft or teammates involved there. It'll be every man for themselves there, so it'll be a little bit more even playing field. So hopefully see different results for sure.
Hopefully we do. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we can get a much better finish next week at Auto Club. But of course, also here with me is also here with us, I should say, is going to be Brian Wright as well. And the number 43 also didn't really get the finish essentially that he wanted to have, but he did manage to finish the race at least. So, Brian, how'd your race go for you?
I'm kind of kicking myself. You really can't predict these races, and me and David were together hoping that there was going to be another caution, because the last couple of years we've done this, there's always been that late race caution to get back into it, and it never came. And I'm kind of happy as an owner of the league that it finished clean and there wasn't a last ditch wreck. But as a driver, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get another chance to get at it.
Yeah, it definitely would have been interesting as well. I was about to say, I actually mentioned it earlier. I was saying that, well, hopefully these drivers don't get I did mention at least the quote-unquote point of no return with the 5 laps to go, then the race is pretty much over. I also mentioned earlier in the race that if we did get a caution, at least after the pit stops, then that would be interesting to get the field restacked and see how the race would have played out from there.
Absolutely, and we was we was hoping the same thing, but unfortunately for us drivers, it didn't come. But hey, it ended clean. That's as much as you could hope for, I guess, as an owner.
Yeah, it was definitely relatively exciting as well. 17 drivers. I joined, 3 of which unfortunately did not finish, but the other 4, but those 14 did manage to stick it out at least when they could and however they could, and they took advantage of everything. So, thanks for your time as well. So, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here at Daytona International Speedway. Next week we head to Auto Club Speedway for again the same amount of laps, 80 laps. It's going to be an interesting 80 laps as well as, once again, like I mentioned, completely different in terms of how you race it compared to Daytona. And Daytona, you're pretty much nose to tail for the most part, and, well, at Auto Club, not so much. So we will be seeing you next week at around about 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time, maybe about 8:40. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching, and of course we will be seeing you next week once again at Auto Club for 80 laps here. I am Gary Weaver, and you have been watching the iCAR Racing League here on the Racing Line Broadcasting Network.